If Moshiach will come when unexpected, why do we constantly talk about his coming?
How is it that we speak about Moshiach all the time? And we are told that that's what we should be doing, but at the same time we know that Moshiach will come when he's the least expected. As everybody's familiar, Ein ben David ba ela behesach hadas. That Moshiach will only come when we're not thinking of him, when we divert our attention from him. The meaning of hesach hadas, that does not mean diverting one's attention. The meaning of hesach hadas means that we move away, we depart from das. A human being normally operates through his mind. His or her mind should be the motivating force in a person's life, that you follow what is correct based on one's understanding, that this is right, this is correct, and based on that we should be making a decision. We definitely should not be behaving impulsively. So the correct human being is someone that lives according to his or her seichel. And of course, in order to get the right seichel, you want to get the seichel of Torah. You want to get the intelligence of Torah. So you learn Torah, and you learn Chassidus, and so on and so forth. And all of this directs one's mind, and through the mind, one can do whatever they're doing and accomplish what needs to be accomplished. There is one thing that, in order to achieve it, is not brought about through a motivation generated by our mind. We find an interesting thing, that when our Rebbe became Rebbe, his first message to the Chassidim in Basi Lagani was a very strange thing. The Rebbe called for craziness. The Rebbe called for madness, called shtus de kedusha. The Rebbe said holy madness. And his message is that to bring Moshiach, in order to overcome and to complete the last darkness, and to bring the Shechina down into this world, can only be done through shtus de kedusha, which means holy madness. There was certain craziness. Now the root of this, really, is already to be found, although we don't necessarily find this concept of shtus in most Hasidic literature, but in the Rebbe's teachings is very, 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 very core. But the root of it is found already in Tanya, in the Alter Rebbe, in Ageres HaKodesh, in the back of Tanya, in the end of Tanya, in the last section of Tanya, Perek Dalet, when the Alter Rebbe talks about, again, the Geula, and the Alter Rebbe talks about the redemption and the idea of Ein ben David ba ela behesach hadas. And the Alter Rebbe explains, these are the words of the Alter Rebbe, what does it mean, behesach hadas? He says, you're doing things that look a little crazy. What does that mean? Your motivation, your drive is so intense, it is so deep that it's higher than your understanding of your mind, because it's coming from a place in you that's deeper than your mind. His words are, Valderech Mashal, he gives an analogy, sometimes in worldly things, if there's something of such great significance, that your entire life is dependent on this, it's touching you at the deepest point of your heart, the ad bechlal, meaning it's literally reaching at your very, very quintessence. It causes sometimes for you to do deeds, and to speak in a way that looks very not coherent, look like a crazy person. If a mother is at a park and she loses her 2-year-old and she goes running frantically like a crazy person, no one will blame her for craziness. No one will blame her for yelling or screaming or literally acting like a total lunatic, because you understand this is her child that she lost, because it's touching her at a place where it goes way beyond our minds. In order to bring Moshiach, which is the essence of God, into this world, We need to stimulate it from our essence. We will not bring Moshiach through sophisticated discussions and things like that. We will bring Moshiach only with the deep fire of our neshama that's beyond mind, beyond seichel. That's what the Rebbe was calling for, shtus de kedusha. And that's why we find that people that are a little bit overly involved with Mashiach, sometimes you look at them like crazy. And that's it. Bringing Mashiach requires craziness. So much so that the Rebbe, who is the leader of Chabad, Chabad is the head, intellect, the Rebbe said about himself that I am crazy. These words he used, I am crazy about Mashiach. We all need, if there's one thing we can be crazy about, that's Moshiach. And only that craziness produces the Geula. Now is the time for us to get super crazy about Mashiach, non-stop. Teaching, inspiring, bringing Besuras HaGeula, speaking of Moshiach, even if we look a little crazy.